You know why I respect you? Because you don't try to hide your shit or do grimy shit.
Thanks, girl, but where's that coming from?
I'm just saying, these download motherfuckers and these little faggots that run around here
Whoa,
fucking
whoa, we
dudes
using the F word now?
wives. You know what I mean? Not you. These other little queens that's out here fucking with married men. That's why I respect you, because you're not like them. You're not a faggot.
Spare me. No need to repeat the word, and despite the way you may choose to categorize people, there are plenty of ignorant asses who think that word applies to me. And as far as this respect you have for me because I'm not like the others,
Look, don't get defensive. I'm not trying to say that.
I'm not sure what you're trying to say, but I'm gonna need for you to say it soon because I'm starting to question this friendship.
I just wish more gay men were upfront and honest about themselves. That's all.
I'm not even gonna touch on all the problems sitting in that last statement, but where is all this coming from?
Damon.
You caught Damon with a man?
No,
Then what the hell are we talking
but
about?
I'm sure his ass is on the way to one.
I'm lost.
You know what the fuck that motherfucker had the nerve to ask me to do?
If I did, I wouldn't be lost.
He asked me to use my fucking vibrator on him.
Okay, and what did you say?
I said, fuck no. I told his fruity ass that there's nothing about the idea of a female fucking a man that's sexy.
To you, maybe?
Yeah, I'm sure you do like that shit because it's gay as fuck.
Actually, no, I'm not a fan. I definitely wasn't referring to myself. I don't see anything sexy or even remotely homosexual about a woman strapping up on a man.
How the fuck isn't that gay?
Because you're a woman. Now, if he's cool with a man doing it to him, then that's gay, or bi at least.
Bullshit.
Did he say he wanted a man?
Nah, he got pissed and said that it ain't gay if it's a female.
I'm inclined to agree.
Ain't no way in the hell a real man wants to get his ass played with.
Oh, so what am I exactly?
Huh?
Hmm?
You know what I mean. I mean, like, well, it's different for you. Like you a dude, but like, well, you.
But what?
I mean, you what?
I got a whole dick, no desire to be anything other than the man I am. So what am I exactly?
Look, this ain't about you, and I really wasn't trying to be offensive.
Oh, but you were. But I'm gonna let that go for now because I see your head is focused on something else, but we will be coming back to that conversation now.
I just don't see how a straight man wants a dick up his ass.
Well, he didn't ask for you to put a dick up his ass.
He asked me to stick my damn vibrator up his ass. If it's shaped like a dick and it moves like a dick, oh, it's a dick.
Fine, let's go with that. However, he's not asking for a man to do it. He's straight because he's only attracted to women. Besides, it's not about sexuality, it's about science.
The fuck? Science.
Yes, the male G spot is in his ass. The prostate? Don't act like you ain't never heard that before. It's a proven fact.
Look, whatever. Ain't no straight man trying to get it touched.
Actually, a lot of them are. Baby girl, it is 2020. Even the brothers are admitting they like getting their asses licked. That shit feels good. You like it? Why wouldn't he?
Because I'm a female.
You are a human being. Being touched feels good. Being licked feels great. Being fucked feels fucking amazing. Instead of tripping over what your man is openly and honestly coming to you about wanting to do in the bedroom, you should be taking him to the toy store with you so that you two can pick out some things to use on each other.
What?
Girl, what you won't do, another woman will. Hell, if the dick shape vibrator is too much for you, just pick out something else. They got prostate massagers especially designed for men. Most of them look nothing like dicks. Ooh, you can even get one with the remote so you can control it.
You're serious, aren't you?
Yes, girl. In this day and age, nothing is too nasty for the bedroom. And like I said, what you won't do, another woman will. Tell me something. Do you love him?
Yeah, but this shit,
Is he good to you?
That's not the point.
Is he a willing and able partner who takes care of you in all the ways that you need him to?
Yes, but still,
Is the sex good? Is the sex good?
yes.
Then what the hell are you complaining about? You have a man that you love who loves you and takes care of business in and out of the bedroom. You know what? Fuck it. Send them to me and I'll see if these conversion powers y'all swear we got actually work. Because I know a few of the kids who've been looking for one like him. Hell, I'm strictly dickly, but for a good man, even I'd introduce some versatility into my diet.
No, don't get stupid out here.
No, you don't get stupid out here. Listen to yourself. You are legit willing to write this man off and piss off your best friend by using ignorant ass words. All because he's secure enough in his sexuality to tell you what he wants?
I just don't think I can get turned on seeing my man with his legs in the air like a bitch.
Wow, you just disrespecting everyone today, though. Bitch, though?
You know what I mean.
I do. And I know you know better.
All right, I apologize. You're right. About the words, not about the sex.
Look, D, it ain't for everybody. I can't fault you if you're not down for it. But I really think you should at least try to come up with some kind of compromise before you kick a good one to the curb. Like I said, there are non-dick shaped toys that can give him what he needs, and you may even enjoy it yourself.
I doubt it.
Isn't he worth the try, though?
I just can't get my mind wrapped around this. Shit is too weird. It's too fucking yay. I don't care about his prostate or that he wants me to do it and not some man. And who's to say he won't want the real thing later on?
You're right. You never know anything until you know. I'm just saying there are plenty of straight men out here who are getting dicked down by their wives and no one else. And both parties love it.
Yeah, white men.
Actually, I know a couple of brothers who let their wives try it, and one of them still enjoys it.
Oh, who?
None of your goddamn business.
Ugh,
And please don't tell anyone else what Damon asked you in confidence. You shouldn't have even told me, but I'm glad you did so I could talk some sense into you. Just because he's secure enough to share that with this lady don't mean he wants the streets knowing. Besides, your other friends probably ain't as open-minded as me.
that's because your nasty ass doesn't think anything is too freaky.
Well, you ain't wrong.
See?
I'm just saying. Shit, in a relationship, nothing is off the table. As long as we're both willing, I don't see a problem.
Of course you don't.
Look, one of us is sitting here stressing over sex with their man, while the other one is looking forward to a gutterball good time he and his man are going to have as soon as I walk through the door. This conversation got my wheels turning. I might take Will on a trip to this toy store and see if he got any secret fetishes.
Oh my God, I cannot with you.
Oh, honey, I'm the only one you can with. That's why you always come to me.
Ugh, whatever, ho.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So, what are you gonna do?
Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know.
He does something to me. I don't understand it, can't comprehend the way that he challenges me. More than a competition of sexuality, more of a delicate dance with these mental minstrels, he infuriates me. But the passion is so deep, self evident when we speak that it's not yet over. Just seeing the shape of his face can reignite the flame being smothered by my thighs, those honey almond eyes, cheekbones when he smiles, and the depth of his vocal cords. Honey, they strike a chord somewhere in my spirit. You know, we can't maintain a real or healthy relationship, so tonight We'll just simulate the experience. Act like you love me again. And as soon as your hands touch my hands, they'll remember. They'll remember those morning caresses, the embraces in the winter. They'll remember holding each other so tightly and the feel of our bodies when we explored each other nightly. Take hold of me. And while you're in it, unleash your rage for this thing that you've lost and you can't keep. With the intensity of an F5 tornado tossing out debris, it still couldn't compete with the escalation of the relationship between you and me. Physically, we moved at a rapid pace, and although emotions have slowed, our hearts still have a loving embrace, beating to the sound of our love until the record breaks. Around the same time as dawn. The simulation has ended and now real life has begun. We return to our corners bereft of any love, just filled with more contempt now that the deed is done, sniping at each other to show that we're in pain because we both lost what we had and we don't know what it was we gained.
Good afternoon.
Hey,
I'm Dr. Cassandra Parks. Feel free to call me Cassandra, whichever feels more comfortable to you, Dr. Parks. And you are?
Sean Sanders.
Right, right. Well, it's nice to meet you, Sean.
You too.
So tell me what brings you here today.
If I knew the answer to that, I wouldn't be here.
Are you at all familiar with how psychotherapy works?
No, this is my first time doing this. I'm only here because of my brother.
What do you mean?
Well, me and my brother recently reconnected after, let's just say, an extended period of time we went without speaking to one another.
I see. Do you care to elaborate on that?
Not really.
Fair enough. Perhaps we can come back to that later. But tell me this, since this is your first time in therapy, do you have any questions for me?
I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but it seems like I'm in the right place.
Meaning?
I just meant that this whole therapy thing seems involved. Like something for folks that are crazy, folks that are fucked up in the head. Like me, I guess.
Well, actually, it's only as complicated or as involved as you make it. It's really about having someone to talk to, a professional who can help you sift through whatever is happening in your life that may be causing you to experience complications or challenges.
Okay.
Let me say this. Psychotherapy doesn't mean you're crazy or...
Fucked up in the head?
Exactly. I'd like to come back to that a little bit later, actually, but for now, just to get us started, just know that one of the goals of psychotherapy is to increase an individual's sense of their own well-being.
Okay. Well, that I can follow, and I think I definitely need.
Good. Well, since this is our first meeting, I'd just like to talk, get to know you, and give you a chance to do the same with me. How does that sound?
Good. But before we go on, can I ask you a question?
You mean besides the one you just asked?
Fun. That was cute. But what I wanted to ask is, how many gay clients do you have?
Quite a few of my clients are gay, actually. Why do you ask?
Because I'm a gay man, and if I'm going to be spending my time doing this, I want to make sure you're not caught off guard by some of the stuff I may want to talk about.
Well, thanks for the warning, but as long as you're comfortable, I think I'll be okay. As I mentioned, this is ultimately about your well-being, Sean.
Great. Because I've been a lot of things lately, but well ain't one of them.
How so?
I just know some things ain't right in my life, and it's getting harder and harder to deal with everything.
Okay, well, how about you try talking to me about what you're feeling right now?
I don't know. A lot of things.
Like,
Afraid, angry, confused, sad, broken. Really? That's all you got to say is I just felt a handful of dark emotions, and that's all you can say in response? Damn, if this is how therapy is going to go, I may have to rethink this whole thing.
Let's try a different approach. What do you hope to gain from being here?
Clarity.
Okay, that's a good place to start. What is it you feel unclear about?
My life. Why I'm here, living. Why keep trying? Why I can't seem to get it together and keep it together long enough for things to actually work in my life.
That's a lot. How about we deal with things one at a time? Does that work for you?
Sure.
You say you feel unclear. What's unclear about your life right now? And before you answer that, I'd like you to try to name 3 things that you can talk to me about in a little bit more detail.
Okay. Work. I'm not happy with the job I have, and although I'm in a much better position than I was even a year ago, I see it going absolutely nowhere. Silver lining, I guess, is that it's a check to keep the rent paid, but in terms of feeling like I actually enjoy what I do, what I'm doing, not so much.
That's actually not uncommon. Tell me more about what it is you do for work, if you don't mind.
I'm an office manager.
Is that what you want to be doing for work?
I have a degree in communications. Was it my plan to be working for some candy-ass nonprofit whose executive director is an entitled, racist white woman? No.
So what do you think is keeping you from doing something different for work?
Let me put it like this. I know what I want for myself, but for whatever reason, it's not happening.
How long have you been employed where you're working now?
Almost 2 years.
In that time, have you sought out other employment opportunities?
Yeah, I have, but realistically, there just never seems to be enough time in a day to do that. I mean, I can't very well do it at work. And most of the time when I'm home, the last place I want to be is in front of a computer having to do any more work.
Again, not uncommon at all. But is it possible you could find some other time, perhaps on your weekends, to devote strictly to job hunting?
I guess so. The way I've been going about it so far hasn't worked, so yeah, I could do that.
Okay. Sounds like we've made some progress, right?
Yeah, I guess we have.
So, number 2, what else are you unclear about?
Of course, these will get harder as they go along.
Why do you say that?
Because think about this next one. Work feels like a walk in the park by comparison.
Well, that's why we're here, is to help things become more clear for you. So can you try to tell me about number two?
Number two is about my inability to connect with guys. I'm fine with being by myself, but even I see companionship from time to time. But it seems like I gotta jump through a million fucking hoops just to get something as simple as a basic human connection with another Black gay man nowadays.
Tell me more about this.
About what?
Jumping through hoops to make a human connection?
It just feels like the brothers are all so fucking shallow and obsessed with body or Beyonce or fashion or money or all of the above. I just want to meet a regular, normal dude.
And what's normal and regular mean to you?
Where are you going with this?
Not going anywhere with it really, just trying to understand you.
Normal and regular to me means simple, not complicated. Someone who's in touch with their emotions and can hold an intelligent conversation. Do I have things I like in a man physically? Yes. But what's inside is so much more important to me. You can't keep your looks forever, but your heart is different.
Sounds like it's important for you to connect with people.
If I can't connect with you, be real with you on some level, what's the point of even engaging in anything?
Tell me about the last time you went on a date.
A date? What the fuck is that? A date for a Black gay man nowadays is someone who meets on Jack, Grindr, or shit. IG, Facebook, or Twitter, for real?
Is that how you usually meet guys?
I have. Is it where I prefer to meet them? Hell no. I think it should be like how it is in the movies or on TV when you're out at a restaurant and somewhere in public, minding your own business, not looking and someone just catches your eye at the exact moment you catch theirs. That shit ain't never happened to me before.
So what about the last time you were with a guy? Can you tell me about what happened?
How long did these sessions last?
We've got time.
The last time I was with a guy, he told me that I was too good for him, gave me this whole speech about wanting to be friends, and that he really admired me for being so in touch with my emotions. Then some brief bullshit small talking too before he rolled out and I never heard from him again.
How long had you been seeing him before that happened?
A month.
Where'd you meet him?
Through a friend. One of my female friends thought we'd be a good fit. A couple of months ago, she told me about this guy she'd gone to school with down south who was moving to DC, and she thought it would be a good idea if we met.
So you were set up.
Was I ever? I mean, even when I first met him, as attractive as he was, my antennas went up because I figured something had to be up with him. It was just too good to be true. A waste of my fucking time.
What makes you say that?
Because it didn't go anywhere. I opened up to that guy, took him out to dinner, a museum, went to a concert, and I got nothing in return.
What were you expecting?
Huh?
What were you expecting to happen? What did you hope would happen?
Well, initially, not much, but as we continued to talk and hang out every weekend for that month, I was hoping it would go somewhere, but no such luck. Is the time up already?
Not quite. How did it feel when he
Told me he didn't want to see me anymore with a bunch of backhanded compliments?
Yes. How did that feel?
it felt like I was being rejected again. Like I was too much or not enough or whatever the hell he was looking for.
Could it be that maybe he didn't know what he was looking for and he was just allowing himself to see what's out there?
Really? No shit. That's exactly what he was trying to do, is see what's out there, because clearly I wasn't it. Can, can we just talk about something else, please? I don't want to spend whatever time I have left here talking about that bullshit.
Of course. So, number 3.
What?
I asked you to talk to me in more detail about 3 things that are unclear in your life currently. We've talked about 1 and 2. So what's the 3rd?
I'm not happy with my life, my past. I'm not happy with anything.
You mentioned earlier that you and your brother have recently reconnected. How's that been?
It's been good. We lost our mother almost 12 years ago. We had a pretty rocky time since then, so I am glad he's back in my life. Like I said, he's why I'm here. He's been nagging me for the last couple of years on and off about seeing a therapist.
What changed?
Huh?
If he's been suggesting therapy for the last couple of years, why are you here now?
Well, since we officially reconnected and started communicating more regularly, I can tell it's worked for him. He had been saying that all along to me, but I guess I was just too caught up in being stubborn and hurt to really hear what he was trying to say.
That's a start, don't you think?
What do you mean?
That you've at least been able to consider what your brother has been saying to you for a while now regarding therapy. I mean,
Yes. He's my big brother, and I know he's been worried about me. I really miss my mom. I I don't think I ever really processed her death, and nothing has been right since then except for me and Ronnie rebuilding our relationship as brothers.
so is it safe to say that that's what brings you here today?
Are you talking about my relationship with my brother or the loss of my mother?
Actually, I was referring to all of what you just mentioned.
Then, yes, that's why I'm here. I feel all over the place, and I'm hoping that somehow this can help me sort some of this stuff out.
Well, it actually does look like we're out of time for today. But for the record, Sean, this is a good starting point.
Yeah, I think so too. I have to admit, I do feel a little bit better after talking through some of this.
I'm glad to hear that. So, do you think you would like to see me again?
Yes, I guess I would. Rome wasn't built in a day, right?
Well, I don't know much about Rome, but I think I know what you're getting at. That being said, if you'd like to continue, I think we can get some things done together and make some progress. At least I certainly hope so.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. See you next week.
I'll be here.
He said he had bad nerves. That's why his hands shake a lot. A homeless street veteran, battle tested by a battery of rain on the park bench where he slept at night. And me, the compassionate trust fund baby, took in this stray dog, a temporary safe haven from his maladies. But there's a certain kind of danger that dwells deep in the heart of a man who can't feed his own children or reach his baby mother's heart. So when he would get mad and jump bad, I was the closest target for his assault. I began to think that it was my fault, because after all, I caged him, introduced him to four walls and a roof, and left him to his own devices as if he knew what to do. Problem is, you can't chain a lion that wants to be loose. So I loosed him. And you know how the saying is, I let him go and he'd come back, but was I really meant for that? He gave me just enough action to keep me distracted, just enough affection to keep me misdirected, just enough kisses so that I would miss it, and just enough dick so I wouldn't be suspicious. But I found out anyway. Led astray by another man-child claiming to love me. Those magic words, how absurd that I turned over my biggest possession simply because he uttered those words. And abracadabra, how quickly things changed. Instantly, my best relationship ever became a nightmare scene. And Elm Street had never seen this kind of horror before. Eggshells lined my entire apartment floor as soon as I walked through the door. I tiptoe around my own house, making careful not to make too much noise, because the glare when you stare, it sends ice into my bones. Not to mention, your words stab deeper than any knife could. How often I embarrass you. I'm barely good enough to be your girl. You inhale and say, "I love you," looking deeply in my eyes. And on the very next breath, "I trust no bitch. I know you're probably fucking around." Nothing I ever did was good enough. Y'all, this man was breaking me down. I believed my love was worth it. I let him pin me until I drowned. I almost lost myself in this labyrinth of nightmares, constantly crying, daily and nightly, walking around in circles in the parking lot, asking God to guide me. I was hopeless. Removed nearly every knife from the house because it was either going to be him or me. But I've at least found that these straight razors can release some of this pain from my inner thigh at least. And I continue to cry. One pain relieving another pain, but no replacement and no end to me thinking that I was unworthy. But the truth is, I'm intelligent and you're dumb. And if you've ever gotten it right, I would be stunned. You can't equate us, honey. I'm algebraic. What I'm really trying to say is I'm astounding and you're basic. Another nameless black male face twisted into a grimace, so determined not to be a part of the statistic that you're firmly set in. Mid-30s, 8 kids, 5 baby mamas, part-time job, smokes more weed than the state of Colorado, pays no child support and no alimony, or probably because you're still married or is legally separated, the story. You have nothing to your name, yet I loved you anyway. Material things have never mattered to me, but now I see why women have to have a bar set for you to reach. It's easy to love a man with nothing in his pockets, but it's hard to love a man with nothing in his heart. An actor, for this role, you get an Oscar. Imposter, pretending that you have a heart when you know that she's already got yours. No filling for this empty cavity, of course, so you try to rip my heart out as a replacement for yours. Fuck you. This is my heart. It belongs in my chest. And if you want your heart back, I guess you'll need to go chase down your ex.
So my father promised me that if I did really well in my first year of college, he would buy me a car. So I did really well, and he took me to the dealership when I came home for summer break. I noticed you as soon as I got to that car dealership. You immediately rose up from behind the little desk and extended your hand, and I noticed your crisp khakis and the light pink colored shirt, your low cut Caesar, and you were wearing this Versace blue jeans cologne. It was my favorite at the time. Yeah, I remember all of that. Well, I noticed you looking at me, and I didn't want my father to notice you looking at me, but I was also looking back at you. I noticed your eyelashes and your eyes. There were so many stories in those eyes, and I wanted to read and know them all, one by one. You sold me the car. This brand new sparkling midnight blue 1996 Dodge Neon. I was so excited to finally have my first car and even more excited about the idea that I'd be driving around with you for the summer. I remember that I would pick you up and we'd go to the mall or we'd go out to eat. We'd go here and there. Sometimes nowhere. We would just sit and talk. And no one ever made me laugh the way you did. I mean, actually laugh until I would cry. Yeah, you had your way of doing that. And then after that, we go back to your place. As you know, this predated Netflix, so all we had was chill. Can I say how sexy you made me feel? Me, this slightly overweight book nerd with crooked teeth, but you made me feel like pure gold dipped in milk chocolate wrapped in Egyptian silk. And then there were the other times we would just sit and listen to the Wait and Exhale soundtrack in that car. And those moments of not talking, but just listening to the music. I explored your eyes once again and I saw traces of pain in a slightly different man than the one I had just met several weeks prior. Well, as the summer winded down, I told you I wanted to transfer schools to be closer to you. And you persuaded me not to. Don't move here because of me, you said. I thought you wanted to be away from your family anyway. I do, but now I want to be close to you, I said. And I remember you looked at me with this half grin and you turned away before the first tear fell from your eyes. I said nothing else, and neither did you. I remember Shaka Khan singing My Funny Valentine as we sat in the car with your head on my shoulder. And when I headed back to college, you promised you would write. Yeah, right. I mean, you would page me sometimes, and I would page you back always. 143. I mean, I would call you often, but you would rarely answer or call me back. And when we finally would talk, it didn't seem like you had much to say. The year went on, and Thanksgiving was here, and I was back in my hometown looking for you. You were nowhere to be found. I mean, I would ask people that I knew you, but nothing. It's like those who knew didn't say, and those that did know didn't care. I waited, and I looked, and I looked, and I looked. Nothing. And then I eventually decided it was time to go back to school. And as I piled my Christmas gifts and luggage into that little 1996 midnight blue Dodge Neon, I drove the 2.5 hours back to college in the car where there were memories of you. And even that Versace blue jeans cologne scent of you remained. And also the mystery of where you had gone and why. 2 months passed, and I got a call. And no, it wasn't you. It was a call telling me I needed to be tested. HIV. I never heard from you again, but if I did, I would actually thank you. I mean, even now, almost 21 years later, at almost 40 years old, I have never felt so loved as I did for that one short summer. And it ultimately changed my entire life.
This boy, I can't seem to catch up with him. I may have to just FaceTime. What is, I can't get.
Hey, Ma. I was just getting back in the door when you called. That's what took me so long to answer.
Okay, I was about to say, I was sitting here in front of this iPad about ready to cuss your little ass out all the way from down here in Texas.
Ma, ain't nothing on me, little. I'm grown.
I know that. Don't go getting all defensive. It's just been a while since I saw your face, and I've been concerned about you, that's all. Where are you coming from anyway?
Oh, I had to send something off to a friend of mine in Atlanta, so I swung by FedEx on my way home from the gym.
The gym. Boy, what the hell are you doing in a gym while this damn virus is running rampant. I thought all the gyms were closed there anyway.
Well, they were until about 3 weeks ago. I went back just this past weekend for the first time. Believe me, I let a couple of weeks with the other people as guinea pigs go by first to see how it would all play out before I returned.
I just don't understand why you can't work out at home. Is that even safe? How are they handling all this, all that cleaning and whatnot?
Ma, please. Don't start with the New York gym health and safety inquisition. Just know that I'm being careful, wearing all the necessary protective gear, and I'm safe.
All right. If you say so. I just know that being in those gyms is ranked right up there along with dining indoors at restaurants. That's supposed to be the highest risk of catching this shit.
I'm well aware of the risks, and I'm doing everything possible to avoid catching it. Outside of that, and going to the grocery store, I don't leave the house. It's been that way since March, and here we are, some 7 months later.
Exactly my point, son. This pandemic ain't going anywhere no time soon. And I need you to be safe and healthy so I can get you back home for one of these holidays coming up somehow.
Ma, we talked about this.
About what?
Woman, I know you're older than me, but I know you ain't suffering from memory loss.
You're right. I have not lost my memory yet. But if said memory serves me correctly, the last time we spoke about all of this and you said, and I quote, I'm not saying no, I'll seriously consider it and we can talk about it later. Is that not what you said to me when we spoke about it on Saturday, July 4th, 2020?
Wow. You're right.
I know I am. I remember what you said.
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about your memory. Sharp as a tack, still.
And don't you forget it.
Okay, fair enough. But during that same 4th of July conversation, we also talked about why I had to seriously think about making the trip back there for the holidays.
Baby, I know New York is a long way from Houston. And I understand your reservations about flying, but there's other options. It might take longer for you to get here and back, but you said yourself, you're working from home well until next year, so you can do that from wherever you are, right?
That's not my primary concern, and I'm pretty sure you know that.
Then what is it?
Maybe you are losing your memory.
Donovan, do you really think that I don't know what this upcoming holiday season marks?
No.
Last Thanksgiving and Christmas were the last 2 holidays I got to spend with both of my sons. Why do you even think I brought this up to you on the 4th when we talked? Look, Donnie, there's not a day I open my eyes that I don't think about the fact that I lost my child. And I'll never hold him in my arms or see his beautiful face ever again.
So it's not just me?
Baby, of course not. I know how much you loved Khalil.
Then can you understand why it's just too soon? It's way too hard for me to come back to Houston for the holidays this year, Ma. This year's been hard enough, and most days I'm just barely getting by emotionally.
All the more reason you need to be surrounded by family. I don't even want to think about you being there in that big ass city all by yourself for Thanksgiving, let alone Christmas this year. That would break my heart.
I'm not all alone. I have friends here.
I'm your family. I need you here, Donovan. I already lost my baby. I can't lose you too.
I'm not going anywhere, Ma. I'm tucked away in my place right here in Brooklyn, safe from coronavirus.
That's not what I'm talking about, and you know it. Donnie, listen. I know you. Since the day we met, I have loved, cared, and worried about you as if I gave birth to you myself.
I know. And I'm grateful for you, Ma. It's just, this is just so damn hard.
Who you telling? Boy, from the minute Khalil brought you home and introduced you to me years ago, I could tell you two were inseparable, that you had a love that very few of us, gay, straight, or otherwise, would ever experience in life.
That's just it. I feel like a piece of me is gone and I just don't know how to function without him.
I know, baby. He was my only son. Well, at least until you came into his life and swept him off his feet. After that, I was blessed with not one, but two beautiful sons.
You always say that.
And when have you known me to say anything unless I truly meant it? When I first saw you two together, I knew my child had met someone who truly loved him. And I felt I could breathe just a little bit easier knowing that. You weren't the first young man he brought home to meet me, but you were the last. And that would have been the case if you had. Just know that you were the love of his life.
I keep asking myself what I could have done to save him.
Donnie, listen to me and hear me, okay? You are not responsible for what happened. If I'm being honest with myself, he was struggling with a lot of emotional challenges since he was a teenager.
I never knew that. He never talked much about his teenage years.
That doesn't surprise me. Khalil was an open book in a lot of ways, but he was also guarded even with me, which is my point. You and I will never know what led Khalil to take his own life. That's a hard pill to swallow, sweetheart. I know. Trust me.
I just miss him so much, Mom.
I know, baby. I know. Look, I blamed myself every day for the first few months. Maybe if I had paid more attention, been more hands-on, I played out every single solitary scenario in my mind until eventually I had to stop. With the help of my pastor, I realized that I did everything I could for my child, right up until the moment he took his last breath. He was my baby, and I know he loved me. And what I also know for certain is that he loved you.
Thank you for never letting me forget that. Look, I'm sorry for being so distant since March. I use the COVID stuff as an excuse, but really, I've just been so damn sad about him being gone. The current state of the world is enough. But the truth of the matter is, I can't even get past last year and what happened on December 30th.
Donnie, that date and the fact that it'll mark a whole year without my son is all that I've been able to think about. Aside from the fact that I've known for some time that the son I still have is in just as much pain as me.
Has it been that obvious?
Like I said, boy, I know you. 7 years with someone in your life, and well, a whole lot of mama intuition go a long way.
Touche. Well, no matter what, I'm glad we had this talk.
That makes two of us. I miss you. I understand why you dashed off to New York so soon after the funeral. Besides, those kind of job offers you just can't pass up. But that also means I got to stay connected with you whenever and however I can.
I never meant to distance myself from you, Ma. And I'm sorry.
I know, baby. We're all getting by the best way we can.
Absolutely. I have an idea. Why don't you and I put our heads together and figure out how to spend Christmas and New Year's together to end this year on a good note? I don't have to come all the way to Houston. You know, you could come here or we could spend it in Atlanta, since that's where we were planning to relocate last year before.
I love the idea. And besides, Houston to Atlanta is a much shorter and safer trip for me considering the circumstances.
Yep, that's true. So I'll start making some calls and let's talk this weekend and figure it out, okay?
I have one condition if we're going to do this.
Okay.
Wherever we spend it, as long as I have a full kitchen to cook in. You know, that's my therapy. And I need that part of our tradition to remain the same, just for my own peace of mind.
Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. Besides, the world famous Mama Evelyn holiday spread is all our friends could talk about last year when we brought them along for Thanksgiving. And I'll admit, as much as I miss him, I miss being in the kitchen with you.
While he would sit on the damn couch yelling at that TV screen during whatever football game was on.
Exactly. You know, I used to ask him, are you sure you're gay? Because you're never as butch as you are when you watch holiday football games.
Oh, and you know what, Donnie? It was only on the holidays he'd even pay them damn football games any attention. Oh, I really think that was his way of holding his father close, because that was always their thing on the holidays. Both of them in that living room carrying on like two loud, crazy-ass sports fanatics, while I was in the kitchen toiling away to feed both their behinds.
Yep, that sounds about right. I tell you what, wherever we spend the holidays together this year, it'll have a full kitchen for you and I, and a big screen TV we can turn to a football game and turn up super loud in honor of Khalil and Pops.
Oh, Donnie, I love that idea. But after we finish cooking and get ready to eat, I say we nix the football. From now on, it'll be you and me and RuPaul's Drag Race marathon.
Well, it's a date, Ma. I can't wait.
Me neither, baby. Me neither. I love you.
And I love you back.
So there's no official data from the Chicago Department of Public Health around meth use in Black, gay, bisexual men. The priorities seem to be dictated from outside of the community, and nobody really pays attention to what folks in community are dealing with, struggling with, say that they need.
I was working at a center, the Vogue Center out West Task Force, and one of the participants that I knew, I'd known them for years. We danced together in a dance scene, and like, it was just to see them and the way they were acting, it was just like, it's not you.
You know, I see snippets of who this person I remember them to be, and I also see exaggerations of certain things I've seen before, so it made me think that, okay, well maybe this is just the budding of a mental health issue.
I'd known about crystal meth through interventions, but it was in the rural areas. So when it came to me from a young man that acknowledged it and said, hey, I'm using it because it gives me the level of energy and intensity that I need to compete. And I was just like, oh wow, okay.
So I knew we needed numbers, but I wanted more than that. I wanted stories. I wanted to understand people's experiences. I wanted to understand people's rationale for using it. I wanted to understand, given how, everything that we see, suggests that it destroys your life. Like, why this drug?